Hey everyone, welcome back to another great video here at Area 51 here in the Alien Factory. It has been a hot minute since we've been recording some of these on-demand videos here for you guys. Me and Tracy took the summer off because kids were home from school at my house going crazy. Tracy worked a different schedule there during the summer for his job. So now that school's back in, we're able to bring some of this great live content to you guys. So I'm here with the Admiral, Tracy Rumscheid. Trace, how is it going?
Drop your beer, grab your gear. The Admiral's back. After a long summer, I'm telling you what, I am glad to be back too. Um, just a lot of changing in the schedule. It just doesn't agree with me. So I'm glad to be back at the Alien Factory doing some work here and getting after it.
Absolutely. We're going to break in and do our 2022 buyer's guide for sim equipment for you guys. I get a lot of questions about the equipment I have, and I know Tracy's got it too. Pretty much everybody's asked what equipment each person has and what we would recommend. And so what we would recommend is kind of an open-ended question. It really depends on what your price range is. So Trace, I think it'd be a good idea to kick off. We're a little over halfway through 2022 now. So it's going to be a good way to gauge some of the equipment that's out now, some of the options that people have now that we're halfway through the year. So we're just going to call this our official Area 51 2022 buyer's guide for sim racing equipment this year.
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys, I want to share my screen and we're going to get right into it. I don't have all this equipment here setting in my room physically. The thing is, though, I've owned a lot of this equipment, a lot of these wheels, and Tracy has one of the wheels on the list as well, and the bases and stuff. So we can speak from personal experience about a lot of this equipment, but I don't have it all lined up on the table or anything because a lot of times I've traded my equipment and gotten rid of it and sold it to get new stuff. So we're going to open up a web browser here and be able to show you where you can get some of this equipment and how much it costs and kind of the different levels. I think the approach we're going to take, Trace, is we're going to start at an entry level. Guys, I'm going to hop into my web browser and we're going to get right into it. All right, Trace. Well, first up, we have some entry level wheel and pedal sets, and there's several offerings here to choose from. And I think we're going to start out by talking about the Thrustmaster offerings. Thrustmaster has three offerings in this very low entry level price range, and we're going to call the entry level price range with a total package of say sub $400. Right around $400 plus tax, and below. And so we're going to start out with the Thrustmaster offering. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these wheelbases in person, Tracy, but I've had one myself. They make two models of the same thing. You're going to find this with a lot of the entry level stuff. They make two versions of the exact same thing with slightly different model numbers. And the difference is one version works on PC and PlayStation, and the other version works on PC and Xbox. And so we're going to start out here with the Thrustmaster offering. And the first one is the Thrustmaster T150. That is the PlayStation version. And that's what I have here on the screen. And there's also a Xbox version of the same wheelbase, and it's called the Thrustmaster TMX. And they have that in two flavors. They have a standard version, or in this case, for the PlayStation model, it's got an RS after it. And that comes with the very cheap plastic two pedal set. I mean, these pedals leave a lot to be desired here. And then if you get the pro version, it comes with their upgraded I think it's TH3PA pedals. Yeah, TH3PA pedals, and they're a lot. They're a nicer pedal set. They're still potentiometer pedals, but it has three pedals with a clutch, and they're definitely a better pedal set than this. And usually, if you find the pro version, you're talking maybe 50 30 to $50 more. And it's definitely worth it for the extra better pedals. But this is the base model. This will get you in. So right here, Trace, we see there you can get in here with $179 plus tax. That's about the going rate new. The reason I showed this one is if you go in and we show the TMX, they're up at 224, and that's a ripoff. $225 for that entry level, low end entry level setup is way too much. So right now, if you're buying new, the T150 is the way to go if you're just doing PC. The other thing that really controls it, if you do any console sim racing, you're going to have to get whichever model it goes along with your console. Uh, a couple of things here, Trace. Like there's some advantages and disadvantages to these. One is, first of all, it gets you into force feedback. This is the bare minimum you can go and still have force feedback in your wheel. Second of all, get you into the Thrustmaster ecosystem. So even though the wheel itself, like the wheel rim is not detachable. It is fixed to that wheelbase, so you can't change the rim. It's a small rim. It's like an 11-inch rim. I think I can't remember how many centimeters. I think it's like 28 centimeters or maybe a little less. It's a very small rim. It's about the same as the G series from Logitech G29, G920, G923 rim size. It's hard plastic with a rubber coating over it, there where it's blue. And then the Xbox version, same setup. It's just the handle, the rubber part is black. But so that can't be changed. However, it gets you in the Thrustmaster ecosystem with everything else. So all the Thrustmaster pedals, which includes these bass pedals and includes their TH3PA pedals, which is the 3 pedal set. And then you got your TLCM pedals, we'll talk about here in a second. And you can put any Thrustmaster pedals with this wheelbase. Also, the Thrustmaster shifter we're going to talk about here in a second, it goes with this wheelbase. So it gets you generally into the Thrustmaster ecosystem. So there's some upgrade paths there for pedals and shifters and stuff like that. So that's one benefit to this. And then the other benefit is price. 179 brand new. I mean, that's as cheap as you're going to get into a sim racing equipment. And I'm not going to discount the used market in this buyer's guide either. I've seen these used for as little as like $100, give or take a little bit. I've seen them for slightly less a couple of times, like the $80-$90 range, and those go fast. I mean, that's a steal of a deal. But the going rates, I've seen the going rates probably about $125 will get you in here. And Trace, I tell you what, if you're wanting to try out sim racing, $125, that's nothing to start out, trying to get you wheel and pedals.
Yeah, because once you're hooked, I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna have a lot of money invested in just upgrading the better wheels and pedals and stuff. This will be nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So always look for Facebook, check it out. And if you just want to dip your toe in the water, why not buy used? A lot of this equipment will last a good long time, so you can get yourself a cheap. And I've seen the 3 pedal set that goes with these for like $125 used on Facebook. So that's that offering. Then Thrustmaster has 3 entries in this low end. Thrustmaster really focuses on the low to mid range for all their stuff. And so the next one we're going to look at is the Thrustmaster 248. This one's actually really new. It's only been out for about a year. And it's an upgrade to the T150. It's not replacing it, but it's an upgrade. It's in between the T150 and the T300. It's called the T248. Now, one thing I do want to mention about the T150 we were just doing is the torque. And in each all the wheelbases are rated by torque, and that's the Newton meters, the amount of torque power that they can put into force feedback. And so the very entry level offering, that T150 and TMX from Thrustmaster, has 1.6 Newton meters of force. Remember that number. That is the lowest number out of all the rims you're going to see in this video tonight, is 1.6 Newton meters. Now, compared to that 1.6 Newton meters, Tracy, this new wheelbase that Thrustmaster has put out, it puts out 2.5 Newton meters, which is actually a solid upgrade for the torque. You're actually going to start to really feel some more stuff. The 2 to 2.5 Newton meter range is, like, I would say, bare minimum to really start to feel kind of what the car's doing. I know it's difficult for you and me, who's used to a lot stronger wheels, to go back to something like 2 Newton meters. But there are pro drivers out there racing on Logitech equipment and some of this entry level Thrustmaster stuff that only using 2, 3, 4 Newton meters of strength.
Yeah, I know when I started, I was on a Thrustmaster, but Momo comes to mind if I remember right. So that last wheel we were looking at kind of looked a little bit like it, but the other one was red. So
Yeah,
it's been a
well,
long time since I've been on a wheel like this.
right. And so let's look here at a couple different options. All right. The first option is it comes packaged together with a 3 pedal set here for $372 brand new. And then you see there's a UK version down there that's I think that's actually in euros, 321, but we'll go with the US site here. This they're trying to release this package to compete directly with the Logitech offerings. That'd be the G29, G920, G923 is their newest offering. And the original retail price was $399, which is the same MSRP as the Logitech stuff. And you got it here for $372.99 on sale right now. The three pedal set here, I don't think that this is it's maybe I'm trying to figure out if this is the load cell pedals here with this. Um, as we read the description here, because they've got a brand new three pedal set they've kind of redesigned. And yeah, okay, this is not a load cell. This is an extra spring, a different spring they put in. Because they used to have the pedals, they were called the TH3 PAs, and they were the upgraded pedals that went with the pro versions of that T150 wheel. And they also went with the T300 wheelbases. And so they've replaced them with this new design, but it's basically the same thing. Non-load cell, potentiometer. This has got a resistive spring in the brake to make the brake a little stiffer. But yeah, this is a basic set of pedals. I would say these pedals right here are probably in competition along the lines of the same kind of quality as the Logitech three pedal set that comes with the G29, 920, and 923. So definitely a definite upgrade from the pedals that was on that T150 that came with it. So yeah, this whole package is just shy of $400. So it slides in here to this entry level range. And the other thing I'll say about it is the same kind of stuff that goes along with the T150. This gets you in the Thrustmaster ecosystem for the most part. The rim does not come off. The rim is permanently attached to that base. You cannot upgrade the rim. And again, it's a really small rim. It's the G29 size rim, like an 11-inch rim is all it is, and it does not. You're stuck with that rim permanently. It's also has a plastic coating. It feels real cheap, like a toy. It's very plasticky. The rim it creaks a little bit sometimes when you're using it. But again, you can upgrade the pedals with other Thrustmaster pedals. You can upgrade and add the shifter. So yeah, you're in the Thrustmaster ecosystem, just not the rim. So yeah, solid offering there. Now, Thrustmaster has had another wheel out for a very long time, and it's called the Thrustmaster T300. They have an Xbox version. They also have an Xbox and PlayStation version of that 248. The Xbox version just has an X at the end of it. It's T248 with an X at the end is the Xbox version of that, and they also have a PlayStation version. Now, the T300, this thing has been out for a very long time. It's hard to get them brand new. They come in different packages, right? So this was the base package here, and they're sold out. They were typically around $399-ish in that price range. Sometimes you get them brand new for $299. I remember I got mine. I had one of these, and I got mine for around $299 way back in the day. They're not even in stock anymore on Amazon, the base model, and it comes with the PlayStation wheel. This is the T300. Again, the Xbox version is the TX. It's the Thrustmaster TX. So anyway, this comes with that older T3PA pedals. And then you got the base. Now, here's the cool thing. The original entry level Thrustmaster Trace was 1.6 Newton meters. The T248 is 2.5. This one actually steps it up to 4 Newton meters, just shy of it. Some of the bases will say, or some websites will tell you it does 3.8 or 3.9. Others will say 4.0. Let's just call it an even 4.0 Newton meters. Now you're getting up into territory where you can really start to feel what's going with the car. It's not super strong, but you can definitely really feel what's going with the car. It has a real nice belt system in it. This particular rim is the Gran Turismo rim. It's meant for PlayStation. This is the PlayStation model. It's a relatively small rim. I think it's 280 or 28 centimeters. I think you're like 11 and a half, 12 inches. It's got a little bit bigger rim, not that big. And so anyway, this is a pretty good offering. You see here, this is a nicer rim. This is the T300 Ferrari. There's so many different packages of this T300 system or TX system. They got leather wrapped rims. They have this Ferrari rim. They got a rallycross rim, all kind of stuff. And depending on the rim, the price changes. This one gets you up a little bit out of our $400 price range. We're calling for mid-range just because the rim is nicer. It's an upgraded rim with it. It's $499. This is actually a 30-inch rim. Not 30-inch, I'm sorry, 30 centimeters. This is a 30 centimeter rim. So it's a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer, has nice Alcantara on it for $499. Here you can buy just the wheelbase only for $302 for the T300. Here's another seller selling it brand new for $245 for the wheelbase only. And so yes, that's an option. And yeah, so that's the T300. Here's that Ferrari. Here's that Ferrari Alcantara wheelbase there by itself for $199. Because once you get into the T300, you can then change out the rims as well. You're fully in the Thrustmaster ecosystem. Not only can you upgrade to any of their pedals, you can get their shifter. They got a handbrake you can get. And then you can also change out the rim. They got a quick release with the rim there, and you can change out and get a bunch of different rims with this one as well. So, guys, that's pretty much the Thrustmaster offerings. And then let's jump into the Logitech offering. And Tracy, I think you can vouch for this. What we're about to talk about is probably the most popular entry-level series in all of sim racing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I had a G27 when I started too.
Yeah, and I've got a G920 right here behind me on a wheelbase that I've got set up for my kids that they use now. So we're going to get into that right now, and let's go here and browse for it. Let's just look up. I want to also say that there's a used market. There's a bunch of the T300s on the used market, and sometimes you can pick those up for like $200 with pedals. If you can get you a T300 with $200 for pedals, that is a great deal as well. So let's go up here and we'll check out the G29. The G29s, if you're only going to race on PC, this is a really good one because it's got a bunch of the extra. It's got a rotary knob here that you can use to set up to do like your brake bias and stuff like that. Plus, it's got another up and down button. He's got more buttons on it than the 920. This is the PlayStation version. It's PlayStation and PlayStation and PC. The 920, which is the Xbox and PC version, it doesn't have as many buttons. It's a little more limited. Plus, the G29 has the rev strips there on the top above the PlayStation symbol there in the middle. It's got your Logitech 3 pedal set here with it. Let me see if I can get a picture of that real quick. Your Logitech 3 pedal. Yeah, there's your 3 pedal set with it. You can get these brand new right now on Amazon for $275. And then they've replaced this model with the G923. And honestly, there's not much difference. I mean, I've seen a lot of the reviews out. People cannot tell the difference. I don't know why you would pay the extra, the $399 full retail price for the brand new 923 when you can get a brand new G29, which is basically the exact same thing, and save yourself like $125. It's just the same technology. It's all pretty much the exact same thing. Logitech just keeps recycling the same design, same strength and the force feedback, same everything, and just rebranding it every couple of years with a new model number. These wheels have 2.2 Newton meters of strength. So yeah, that's about the same, right about on par with that new T248 there from Thrustmaster. They also have the shifter. You can see the shifter pictured here. They have that shifter add-on. It comes bundled with a lot of these. I think it's bundled in this kit for the 275. You get the shifter thrown in for the 275 brand new. The other thing, Tracy, is the used market. I picked mine up used on Facebook. I got the whole bundle with the shifter and everything. The guy said he'd only used it like 3 times. He just didn't like the sim racing stuff and wanted to get rid of it. So it felt brand new and everything. And I picked it up for like $200 with a shifter and everything, practically brand new.
Since COVID is kind of a thing of the past, I'll bet you could pick up a lot of good sim equipment for reasonable price now.
Yeah, I tell you what, sim equipment was pretty much sold out, just like everything else, and there was a pretty big drought there for a while when COVID, the first year of COVID, everybody was buying up everything that was out there. It's hard to get your hands on anything.
Right.
So yeah, you can pick a lot of this stuff up on the used market cheap. So there are guys racing in the Pro Coke series and iRacing still using Logitech G series stuff. You got the G25, G27, G29, G920, and the new G923, and they're all pretty much the same thing. The only difference is like the button layouts on the wheel and stuff. All the technology, everything's pretty much the same. on all of them. So if you can pick up any of those for a good cheap price used on the used market, there you go. You're right in with a solid entry level piece there. Here's the only thing I will say though is you're comparing the Thrustmaster as we kind of finish up the entry level stuff, Tracy. If you're comparing the Thrustmaster to the Logitech, I think if it was me, since I've had a T150 or the TMX, but same thing. I've had the T150. I've had the Xbox version of the T300. And I've also now I also have the G29. Hooked it up the other day. I was playing around, hooked it up, just tested out and driving an iRacing to see what it felt like. It was definitely hard for going from a direct drive wheel like you and I have back to something like this. But I will say that I have this now, the G920, and I used to have the Thrustmaster T150. In fact, I just gave it to my nephew. After having both, I would say the Logitech's definitely the better wheelbase of those two. And I would probably even go with the Logitech over the new T248 we looked at earlier too. However, there's one exception in the entry level. If you can pick up a T300 or TX, the same, one's Xbox, one's PlayStation. If you could pick one of those up for the same price or cheaper than the Logitech, then I would go with the Thrustmaster in that case, but only the T300 level wheel because it has 4 Newton meters of strength, which is almost double the Logitech. Plus, you can buy extra wheel rims for it. They make a nice Sparco rally rim. It's like 33 centimeters, which is almost as big as a NASCAR rim. All kind of cool stuff. Plus the higher force feedback there on that T300. So other than the T300, I would say the entry level goes to Logitech as far as our recommendation here at Area 51. But if you can get yourself a T300 at a good price used, that one's probably the king of the entry level budget as far as usefulness and force feedback goes. But I'd make sure you get you a decent set of pedals with it. All right, guys, that wraps up our part 1 of this 2022 Area 51 Buyer's Guide series. That covered all the entry level equipment that you guys might want to pick up and get you out on the track and into sim racing. This is going to be a 4-part series. Part 1, again, was the entry level, which we just went through. Part 2 is once you've got some entry level equipment. Part 2, we're going to talk about some of the upgrade paths that you can take to upgrade some of the equipment you just bought and get some add-on things for it and stuff of that nature. Part 3, we're going to cover the mid-range of sim racing equipment in our buyer's guide and get our recommendations here from Area 51. And in part 4, we're going to jump up and cover the high end or more enthusiast level equipment. And the high end, some of us here in the team own some of that. And we've owned a lot of these wheelbases and pedals and all this stuff along the way. So stick with us with these buyer guides, these 2022 buyer's guide series. Again, this is part 1. Check out part 2 after watching part 1. We'll have part 3 and 4 out here in the coming days. So guys, thanks so much for being with us here for the entirety of this video. I hope it's helped you out. And for those of you who are just getting into sim racing, I really hope that this is helping you make some good buying choices and decisions as you're starting to get some of your your first round of equipment. Guys, appreciate it so much for watching these videos and being so supportive of everything we're doing here at Area 51. Our goal this year is to become YouTube partners in our first year, and every subscription we get really helps that out. So if you haven't done so yet, we just ask you hit that subscribe button before you leave the video. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. The bell icon, hit that as well. It gets you notified anytime that we put up new content here on the channel. Got a lot of great on-demand videos coming for you guys, along with our Sunday night podcasts, 10 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday nights, and the 8 o'clock Monday night Strength of Field race broadcasts, along with all the great live streaming content that we do while we're racing races in the car. It's always fun to hang out with us here at Area 51. And so guys, do that. And then last, hit the like button. If you like this video and it's helped you out in your buying decisions, always like the videos. It gets us up there in the YouTube algorithm, gets more eyes on the video, and helps us grow the channel. And then the last thing I tell you is you're leaving the videos. We got a couple sayings here at Area 51. When it comes to setups and iRacing, you always check the notes. You never know what you're going to find there. all kind of cool stuff. Usually in the notes is setups where there's notes from the builder telling you things you can do in mid pit stop adjustments. And from time to time, you might discover that the setup you purchased, somebody actually bought from somebody else and resold it, kind of stole their setup. That's happened a few times that people have discovered that. So always check the notes and setups. But I'm going to tell you, when you're checking out our videos, you always check out the description. There's all kind of really cool stuff in the description for you guys down there. We got an affiliate link to Major's Garage. There's like 3 places you can get great, good free base setups, solid setups to start building off of. Or race them in races. They're a lot better than the iRacing setups. We got that. We've got a promo code for 10% off Maconi Setup Shop down in the description. And then also, if you really like your paint job in iRacing and you've been in iRacing for a while, you're like, man, it would be cool to have a physical model of my car that I can show people and display at my house. And then we got a link down there to a dude that does custom die-cast models of cars, and he can take your paint job if you send him your TGA file or your paint file for iRacing. He can put that on a custom die-cast model for you, a 1/24th model, and you can work out a price with him or whatever. But that link is down in the description below too. So always check that stuff up. Check that stuff out. It's all kind of cool goodies for you guys down in the description of the video. So guys, that's all we've got for this one. Check out part 2 of the video coming up here in just a day or two. And if it's already a day or two past the upload, I'll go ahead and put it as a card or as one of the video links heading out of this video so you can easily find it. For myself, Mike Howerton, everybody here at Area 51, appreciate Tracy Rumschlag filming these buyer's guide videos with me. For everybody here at Area 51, thank you so much for watching. And as always, we will see you in the next one.